You know, when I gave myself the impossible deadline to release Trivia War, I thought, wow, I actually did such a great job of cutting down ideas and managing my scope. So it's kind of crazy that a month after release, I'm experiencing what has to be the biggest scope creep I've ever personally had in an already released project. Roll intro. So if you weren't already aware or you're new here, my name is Tez Fraser. I'm an indie game developer and content creator. And on this channel, we talk about everything game dev, tech, and even art. So make sure to subscribe to stay informed and go ahead and like the video as a treat. So last we left off, I just released Trivia War on Steam and I was talking about there's a handful of updates that I still wanted to do. By the intro of this video, you already know that a few small updates actually turned out to be several larger updates. By the way, this is part 5 in the series, and you can check out the game as well as previous devlogs in the description below. So now that some time had settled, I not only had time to reflect on Trivia War, but I also just had a lot more people buy and play the game. You know, I got to watch more people play, provide more feedback, and finally I wasn't really under that same time constraint that I was before. What was that? I guess it was probably nothing. Anyways, there are things that I very much wanted to change. The first being that I hid gameplay options in the settings, and that was just a bad idea. I made a falsy assumption that players always look through the settings of their games, but Trivia War is a party game, and I don't think I can hold that expectation to it. It's not really a game for power users, and therefore I shouldn't assume that they would do something a power user would do, which is to look at their settings. I shouldn't wait for people to discover that they can self-balance and change how the game plays. So that was added to the list. I also realized there should probably be some type of customizability for question time and answer time. Not everyone is a fast reader, so they shouldn't have to worry about not being able to play the game properly. It's really an accessibility thing, which I've always been a huge advocate for. So that got added to the list. I also got feedback from family and friends that said things like, wouldn't it be nice to get rid of categories that you don't like? And fun fact, all of the questions in the database are actually labeled not only by category, but also by difficulty, easy, medium, and hard. Of course, this is a bit arbitrary because it's from your perspective on whether something is easy, medium, or hard. But the option does exist, so I should probably expose that to the users as well. Okay, so the list is move gameplay settings, allow users to customize the time for questions and answers, filter by difficulty and category, lengthy, but not necessarily a major update.
You absolute fools. You thought me, an indie game dev, could possibly add new UI, some small features, and not add massive gameplay changes to go with it?
Yeah. So I think it's just easier to show you. We went from this to this. When I realized I needed to define the gameplay elements into categories that make sense and in a navigable way, well, the ideas just kind of started to flow. And you know how it goes. Add this, shift that there, put this here. Let's just go through the changes. So I added 2 new game modes. There's Stealth Health, and then there's Arsenal Challenge. In Stealth Health, as the name implies, health is hidden throughout the entire game. So you really have to pay attention to who's being attacked and who you're attacking. This really changes how the gameplay works, because no longer can you look at the screen and pick on the weak link. You have to remember who the weak link is. Not to mention, who knows what a revenge attack could do to you, because you're not even really cognizant of your own health. You really have no clue who is ahead or not. And then we have my new favorite, Arsenal Challenge. I actually took inspiration for this from Call of Duty and a game mode they had called Gun Game. So in that game, every time you killed someone, you got a gun upgrade. And the same is mostly true here. Instead of your weapon being based on the number correct you have, like in the regular game modes, in this game mode, it's actually based on your current streak. You get an upgrade for the amount correct you have in a row, but if you get one wrong, you are shot back down to your base weapon and have to build it back up again. This really changes up the dynamic of the game, and I think it'll be really fun for folks. I also added 2 new speed bonuses, which is what I call things like immunity. There is damage bonus and health replenish, which are pretty self-explanatory, but I'm gonna go through it anyways. It's basically Mario Kart style of scoring. So you know, in Mario Kart, first place gets the most points and last place gets the least amount of points, but everyone still gets points. So in these game modes, you either get a damage bonus or you get health restored back to you. First gets the most, last gets the least. Immunity is a fun speed bonus, but unfortunately, it's pretty unbalanced. And when you get down to 2 people in the game, it's basically a shutout. So I wanted some speed bonuses that weren't going to be that. It wasn't going to be all or nothing. I also added more things, of course. I used to have a CPU setting. All the CPUs in the game were under that difficulty. But when I designed CPUs, it was actually based on the player class that everyone plays as. So they are technically individual entities, and therefore, if I wanted to, I could give them individual difficulties. So I thought it would be cool to choose the individual AI level. And honestly, this was very easy to implement. I'm talking like a 5-minute change. Extra damage and health were left unchanged. I think those are completely fine. Now for wrong penalty, I realized that group punishment is fun, but individual punishments could be just as fun. So I added it as an option because why not? Finally, I added the ability to have multiple guesses. Once again, a big part of this update was hyper customizability. I want people to be able to play this game the way they want to play it, which is why I then switched gears to creating the question filter UI. I don't love it per se, but I will say it is leagues better than what I had originally. Now, I think we all know I'm not done, but I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsors. Nah, I'm just kidding. We don't have any sponsors. If anything, I'm the sponsor. But I think it's time we talk about the elephant in the room, the Steam Spring Sale. It's been calling to me like the Green Goblin mask. As an indie game developer, most of your purchases will probably happen during a sale. So here I am accidentally creating a deadline for myself again. But that is good news for you. Trivia War will be on its highest sale yet, starting today, actually, March 13th. So make sure to click that link in the bio and check it out. And if you're watching this and the sale is over, you should go ahead and wishlist it so that you'll be informed on when the next sale is. And of course, all the new gameplay goodness will be in there. Back to development. One of the actual things I had scheduled to do was to give the game some more juice. So one of the ways I decided to do that was by adding a little screen shake. 2 of the weapon tiers has explosions, so it felt only appropriate to add screen shake. And one of the things that I love about Love 2D is that you could find code from 10 years ago, and odds are it works perfectly today. I implemented this once again in probably like 5 minutes. The other big juice project is actually on the win screen. It's actually a little underwhelming, and I want there to be more glory in a win. So I added more effects and delayed transitions to kind of build up that suspense, just to make it feel like a reveal. And that actually reminds me, I actually changed how the immunity animation looks, just so it isn't confused with the win animations. I wanted those to be differentiable and not just a reuse. Crazy enough, I'm still not done making updates. And I don't want to talk about anything that isn't going to make it into the spring sale update. But here's what I'll say is definitely coming and will be out when you watch this video. A few additional Steam achievements. Because new gameplay options means new ways to reward the users for messing up it. I think that's really funny. And the game will also be available on itch.io when this video is live. I could have launched on itch.io from the beginning, but I was really focused on Steam and I wanted this big content update to be in the itch version. I know some people might be asking why I launch on itch if I'm already on Steam, but I think itch is still a very important store even with its flaws. Plus, I'd really like to see and be able to give you all metrics on what it's like publishing on Steam and itch and the Epic Game Store, which yes, that was a slick way for me to slide in and tell you that I am going to be launching Trivia War on Epic. And the store page is already up and wishlistable. But I will add that the Epic version isn't anywhere near ready yet and isn't as simple as launching on Steam and itch from a development point of view, so I'm not sure when that will be ready. Anyways, I think that's all I had to share for now. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but the best way to stay informed on what I'm doing and how the game is going is to, of course, subscribe to the channel. My audience is small but powerful, and I know we can build something big together. So please subscribe as we make our way to 1,000 subs, which is the big goal for the year. Also, check out Trivia War on Steam. You can wishlist it below. If you made it this far in the video, in some capacity, you must think what I'm doing is cool, so I'd really appreciate your support. Once again, my name is Tez Fraser. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.